Noodles for Dinner. How Did You Choose This Life? By Max Mitchell. Read by MAEKAN. Music has always been an everyday part of my existence. As a 9-year-old, I was forced into piano lessons. I quickly lost interest, and it became a chore. As a teen, I started playing my instrument like the bands I heard on the radio.
Nobody knows.
That became my gateway drug into music. My first band set up in our drummer's basement. We played the same Green Day covers over and over and over again. The drums and guitars were always slightly out of sync. I was screaming the lyrics into a microphone we didn't have. It never crossed my mind that my adult life would become a complete circus 15 years later. All I knew was that every time my right hand hit the guitar strings during the 1000th chorus of Brain Stew, I literally couldn't stop smiling. I'm not a writer. I'm an overly analytical musician, trying to convince the creative world that I can keep up. To be honest, I can't decide if the opportunity to speak about my road and studio experiences makes me feel more honored or exposed. Regardless, I'll try to keep my fragile ego in check, and I'll discuss things in this column as authentically as possible. Back to my youth. Playing in bands became my normal while growing up. More projects meant more fulfillment, even at the cost of dividing my time. Once I got into college, I realized I could make some extra cash playing piano in a house of worship or playing really terrible original music in bars with a bunch of old guys. After a few years of juggling school and my original music projects, I decided I needed to choose between school and music. This meant turning my back on the other forever. Well, almost. I figured I could always go back and finish my business degree, so I chose to focus on music. That was 7 years ago, and I've been in music's beautiful nonsense ever since. I cut my teeth in Atlanta for 4 years, but I decided to get away and move to LA. All I really wanted to do was pop tours, but thanks to some bizarre events, I ended up falling into music production. I had no idea what I was doing. I barely knew how to plug in a microphone. But many long nights and YouTube tutorials later, I was paying my modest bills making records for songwriters. After a few years of pulling 16-hour days, I was called to play keyboards with a support act on a major pop tour. I was so ready for a new experience. I craved perspective. Oh, and the ability to actually save money. I pinched myself to make sure I wasn't dreaming, and took a chance. I've been on the road roughly 60% of the last 2 years. I've been all over the world to places I otherwise never would have been able to visit. There are great things that make my job one big life-changing experience. But you might also hear industry people talk about the exhaustion. This is not an exaggeration. Time for some real talk. Oftentimes, I get off of a plane, get in a car, and head to the venue. I spend 12 hours working at said venue. I try to find a 20-minute window to squeeze in a meal and check into the hotel around 1 a.m. after loadout. Somewhere in there, I try to squeeze in 5 hours of sleep. Be down in the lobby at 6 a.m. to head to the next city. I've been on tours where this has been the daily itinerary for an entire month, with an occasional day off to break up the madness. If there's any glamour related to this job, it's the 30-minute to 2-hour window every night. It's here we perform for 30 to 30,000 people. People who I hope are enjoying themselves. The glamour ends there. In 2014, I performed at Staples Center. I went home on the city train because it was cheaper than Uber. I plunged my apartment's ancient toilet and ate some microwave noodles for dinner. Okay, the microwave noodles thing was a lie. I probably met some friends at some hip burger joint and drank craft cocktails all night, because that's where all of my disposable income goes. I haven't been working in music near long enough to have the attitude of a jaded old man. I get paid enough to live a half-decent life, and I love what I do, and wouldn't change a damn thing about my career thus far. I want anyone who follows me around to see the beautiful skylines I get to see, and all the weird food I get to eat. But the whole rock star image is still a fairy tale lifestyle that died when Napster became a thing and all music industry salaries were cut in half. Don't think for a second that toilet plunges itself.